Hello there. My name is Tim Giorso, and this is the first edition of a new podcast I'm creating called Topics with Tim. Topics with Tim, TWT. And for this podcast, and for the podcast to come, I'm essentially going to choose a topic, whether that be sports related, which is usually my forte, or something else entirely. I actually really want to do an episode on taxes and bring in my dad to kind of explain how taxes work and how to do your taxes maybe, and just information that you wouldn't have otherwise known. The only current problem I have is I only have one headset, and I know I would need a couple of mics to do more more interviews with another person. I still don't know how to do it over Skype. If anyone has any tips for me on how to record myself and someone over Skype doing one, that would be much appreciated, because I'd love to interview some people over Skype. Anyway, Topics with Tim. Welcome to the first episode. For this first one, I am going to stick to the sports this time, because again, it is more my forte. I know most about it. I haven't had a ton of time to research other things. If you have some ideas for me and you're listening to this and you have my number, text me, and I'll pick a new topic and try to learn something new and try to research and find out. Every day is just try and learn something new. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish a little bit. There's a Duolingo, if you've ever heard of that app, great app, and they have a podcast that I listen to, and I'm trying to kind of learn Spanish. So every day is just always be looking for something to learn. Now, you don't have to go to school necessarily and spend 60 grand to go to, UC Davis. Plenty of ways to learn online, plenty of trade schools, plenty of ways to learn something new every day. So if you're a learner and always are looking to learn something new, then this is the podcast for you. So anyway, without further ado, the topic is one that is relevant due to an upcoming big game. You might have heard of it, the Super Bowl. And sorry about my cough, everybody. It might happen a couple times throughout. And there's no better time to do this podcast, honestly, than right before the Super Bowl, which is on Sunday, between, you probably know, the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. And basically what I'm going to be talking about in this podcast, I'm titling this podcast, Why You Really Hate the Patriots and Tom Brady. Why do you really hate them? This is going to be a time of self-reflection, of analyzing the reasons why we like and dislike someone, trying to figure out if they're valid, if they're just feeling based, or maybe there's something else entirely behind it. Because I have really tried to understand why people hate Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, I really have genuinely tried to understand. And I always ask people, well, why? Why do you hate Tom Brady? I can't fathom why people, don't like him and don't like the Patriots. And I get the typical responses are, they're cheaters. Another response I get is, oh, well, Tom, he's a diva, blah, blah, blah. Another one is, oh, it's just so boring, them winning all the time. And honestly, I think these excuses are bullshit, if I'm being totally honest. I think there's a deeper level here that we're going to go, and I think people's hatred for Tom Brady and the Patriots goes a little deeper than those things. I think those things are just excuses, in my opinion. So anyway, in this podcast, I'm going to do my best to try and give you both sides and try to convince you that Tom Brady isn't a bad guy. He's actually someone to be admired, someone to be looked up to, someone to be emulated, someone to respect. I'm going to also show you why the Patriots are an organization to look up to emulate, to respect, and that instead of hating on them, we should really be enjoying what we're seeing and this unparalleled dominance in a sport that is probably the hardest to be dominant in. And we're getting to witness it. So first off, I wanted to go into a couple of different dynasties and kind of thinking about, well, why do we like this dynasty and not like this dynasty? The first one that came to mind when I was thinking about it was the 90s Cowboys, right? 3 championships with Jimmy Johnson. And, I don't hear a lot of people hating on this dynasty, but let's think about that dynasty for a moment. You have an owner in Jerry Jones who's known to be very selfish, very diva owner, always basically playing GM, overriding the GM. I mean, this is common knowledge that Jerry Jones is a diva owner. And he couldn't deal with the fact that Jimmy Johnson was getting all the credit for their championships. So he ran him out of town. Should we really be admiring that dynasty when you have an owner like that? Now, they had the players, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, those are guys to be admired. But as far as that dynasty as a whole, first of all, they weren't as dominant with only 3 titles. And second of all, they could have been more, but they had an owner who just is a diva. Couldn't stay out of his own way. So there's one dynasty. Another dynasty. Let's look at the Golden State Warriors currently. Now, they have solid ownership and GM, and they're respectful in that way. They don't have a diva owner type situation, but let's be honest, their team is stacked. They have 4 players, 4 all-stars that could go on their own separate teams and lead those teams to the playoffs. I mean, you better be winning titles if you have that kind of talent. So, again, yeah, they don't have the diva owner and that kind of issue, but let's be real, they're stacked. They should be winning titles. The competitive nature of the NBA is so skewed. So that's one dynasty, and I'll bring these back into my final point at the end, so just hear me out. Another dynasty, let's take a look at the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe Bryant, one of the most selfish players to play the game. Notoriously hated by teammates. Degraded them. Demonstrated them. If that's even a word. Couldn't hack it with Shaq. They couldn't get along. There was too much drama. They both wanted the credit. And Kobe ran Shaq out of town. They probably could have had more titles. So is that a dynasty that, is great? I don't know. There's some drama there. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees dynasties. They could pay anybody they wanted. You get to come to New York. So they have the city that's a very attractive and gives them an edge over smaller market teams. And hey, we can overpay you. We can pay you as much as you want. And the Yankees were dominant, but again, you have such an edge. You can pay anybody you want. They should be in the playoffs every year with the amount of money they can pay players and the destination spot they have. So I just wanted to bring up a couple of those dynasties because I wanted to compare them to the New England Patriots dynasty and try and show you how much better the Patriots dynasty is and why it should be rooted for and admired. Again, you have an owner in Robert Kraft, not a diva like Jerry Jones, not afraid to share glory. Everyone says Bill Belichick's the best coach of all time, Tom Brady. No one ever gives Robert Kraft any credit, but does he care? No. He's not a diva. He is if you ever heard an interview with him, which I highly recommend you do, I might even put a link to one I have on my YouTube account of him. Very, very soft-hearted, gentle guy, full of integrity, is a leader, thinks about the team first, isn't trying to get all the credit, all the attention. An owner to be admired, in my opinion. Not like Jerry Jones, who ran a coach out of town, a really good coach, because he couldn't hack it. He couldn't hack the coach getting more attention. Cost him titles. So look at the Warriors, right? I'm tie this in. Stacked team. Are the Patriots winning Super Bowls with a stacked team? Heavens no. You know who was the MVP of their 2004 title? Deion Branch. Remember him? Doubt it. How about Kevin Falk? Remember him? How about, who do they have now? Dion Lewis, undrafted. Rex Burkhead. Danny Amendola. I mean, if you look back at the history of the Patriots, they haven't had very much talent. They don't have talent like the Warriors do. They don't have 4 all-stars. What they have is a team. They play like a team. So again, that's another argument. Not only do they have a solid owner who is someone to be looked up and admired, but they've they're winning without stars. They do have the greatest quarterback in NFL history. I'll give them that. But everything else is team based. LeGarrette Blount won a title with them as their starting running back. Who are these guys? You don't know who these guys are. No one knows who these guys are. The one time they had a star was Randy Moss. So, and the NFL is notoriously one of the hardest. It's hardest to win because you have such a hard cap that you can't do it the NBA. You can't load up on stars. You just can't. You can't afford it. The cap is hard. You can't go over it. The luxury taxes are insane. So I would argue that it's way harder to win in the NFL and win consistently than the Warriors, who can just all team up together and go 17-0 in the playoffs. Let's look at the other dynasty, the Lakers, right? Their star player, selfish, arrogant, degrades teammates, was the reason they didn't win more, ran the other best player out of town. Do the Patriots have that? No, they're actually notorious for taking guys like that and turning them around and turning those guys into model players and model citizens. And if they can't hack it, see you later. So why are we hating on the Pats so much when they have actually respectable players that are about the team first, players that don't get into trouble? Now, granted, you have your one outlier, which is the Aaron Hernandez. I'll give you that, okay? Nobody's perfect. But for the most part, the Patriots buttoned up across the board. Never hear about people getting arrested all the time. Not like in, with the Cowboys or the Bengals. How often do you see Patriots players, getting suspended? No. Because the culture there is it's about the team first. It's not about the player. So again, there's an argument for... And their star player isn't an arrogant jerk like Kobe Bryant, who degrades teammates, who's selfish. And lastly, the Yankees. And once again, this goes back into what I was talking about, the cap. A very hard cap in the NFL. You can't go over it. So, do they have a huge advantage money-wise over anybody else? No. They're dead even with everyone else. Do they have a crazy good destination? Boston's nice. I'll give you that. It's not a horrible destination. Is it New York? No. So, I wanted to compare all these different dynasties just to show you how cool the Patriots are. I know I sound like a homer, but look at those. The Cowboys, diva owner. The Warriors, completely stacked talent-wise over everybody else. The Lakers, their best player, selfish, can't get along with the other star player, runs them out of town. Yankees, pay anyone they want. And the Patriots are opposite of all those things. Opposite. What I would compare them with franchise-wise is the Spurs. Spurs have the same thing. They usually have a star player, maybe one, maybe two at the most, and they have a bunch of guys who you've never heard of. Patty Mills, Davis Bertans. Trying to think of some more guys that I'm blanking right now on guys who are on their title teams. And I say that, and there you go. I just proved my own case here. I literally can't even think of other players on their title teams because they're nobodies. I mean, that's what the Spurs do. They're about the team. They're about a system, and no one's better than the players. Aren't better than the coaches, and no one's treated better. They're a team. It's the team's first, and that's how they win. That's how they consistently win every year, and they're always solid. Even with, I mean, they're fourth in the West this year without Kawhi Leonard, who's arguably one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Basically gone the whole season. 4th in the West. And that's the Pats. Bunch of no-name receivers, no-name running backs, no-name pass rushers. Boom. Team wins. Now, my next point I wanted to go into was those that do have maybe a right to hate the Patriots. Or I can understand more. Now, if you were a Bills fan, or a Dolphins fan, or a Jets fan, I can understand why you don't like the Patriots and Tom Brady. You have to play them twice every year. Every year they kill you. That's frustrating. I'd probably hate him too. And the way the divisions are set up in the NFL, that's what they want, right? The reason that divisions aren't a big deal in basketball is because they don't make it so if you win your division you get in the playoffs, right? Divisions are meaningless in the NBA, so I don't care if we're in the same division, whoever, it doesn't matter. But in the NFL they have it set up to where divisions are you hate your division opponents because they are what prevent you from getting in the playoffs. So if you're one of those fans of those teams, I can understand. I understand. It's got to be frustrating. Okay. If you're a Raider fan, I can sort of understand, but not completely. And here's why. Raider fans, I hear it all the time. The Tuck rule. The Tuck rule. We hate Brady. So let's reverse the script here. Let's say that I believe Rich Gannon was your quarterback at the time. Let's say Rich Gannon's in at quarterback. The same situation. Late in the game. Driving. Tuck rule happens. How many of you Raider fans are? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Ref. I don't think that's fair that we got the fumble recovery on that rule. Do you think you could give the Patriots the ball? Because we shouldn't have gotten that. Guarantee you, none of you would have done that. You would have been like, sweet, we get another chance. So don't try to play all high and mighty like you would do anything different than the Patriots and Tom Brady did. You would take the call, you would take advantage, and you would win the game. Okay? Did you get screwed? Yeah. Was it a horrible rule? Yeah. Don't hate the Patriots. Hate the NFL. Hate the refs. Hate the rule. That's what you should hate. The Patriots didn't do anything that you would not have done yourself. So if you hate the Patriots for that reason, your hate is misplaced. Should be at the NFL for having a stupid rule like that in the first place. The next argument I wanted to address, well, actually, before I address this argument, my question is this. What else do you want as a fan? You got a team in the Patriots who's played in, this will be their 8th Super Bowl. Every single Super Bowl they played in, great game. Exciting. Start to finish. 2001, upset the Rams 20-17 on a game-winning field goal. 2003, they won 32-29, game-winning field goal. 2004, 24-21 over the Eagles. Went down to the wire. 2007, lost to the Giants 14-17. We all know that game. David Tyree, catch the helmet. Eli with the drive. Exciting. 2011, lost 17-21. Same thing, Eli Manning to Mario Manningham. Crazy game. I think there was a drop by Wes Welker that essentially cost the Pats the game. Exciting. 2014, win on a last-second interception on the last play of the game at the 2-yard line to win it. Walk-off pick, 28-24. 2016, major comeback. Greatest comeback in NFL history to win the game. And that final was 34-28. What more do you want? Every time this team's in the Super Bowl, that game is fun. That game is exciting. That game goes down to the end. Now, granted, this could be the one year that it doesn't. I'll give you that. But as a fan, hell yeah, I want the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a damn good game. It's not going to be Peyton Manning against the Bears. It's not going to be the Seahawks against the Broncos shellacking. I'm not going to be bored watching commercials the whole time. It's going to be a damn good game. So what more do you want, fans? What more do you want? Tell me. Next thing I want to address, again, common response. Why don't you like the Patriots? Well, they're cheaters. They're cheat. I shake my head. Oh, man. Deflategate. Deflategate. Let me tell you something about Deflategate. Here's what I'm going to compare it to. You ever gone over the speed limit before? Speed limit says 65. Are you going 65? Or are you going 75, 80? Probably 75, 80, right? Maybe even more than that. The Deflategate rule is it's a rule that, first of all, is not all that meaningful, not all that impactful. And secondly, has been abused throughout the history of football without repercussion. It's one of those rules that doesn't get enforced. And now a lot of people might not know this, but the art of deflating footballs it's been a long time in the NFL. Quarterbacks have been doing it for ages. You're what? What are you talking about? Quarterbacks have been doing that for ages. Brad Johnson, former Vikings quarterback, came out right after that story broke. I deflated footballs all the time. Common practice amongst quarterbacks. A friend of mine, Blake Richardson, worked with, I forget his name, Dell from one of the news stations, does the sports. Played for the Niners back in the day. Same thing. Oh, that's common practice. Right? So the NFL could, just like you're going 75, 80, cops don't always enforce that. So you take advantage. You push the boundaries. That's what any human being does. We push boundaries. Do we need someone above us to tell us where the line is? Of course. We all need that. So that's what it is. You're a cheater too then, if you've gone 75, 80 over the speed limit. All right? Let's say that here's another example. I'm in class and we're in this special room. It says on the door, no eating or drink inside. That's the rule. I look at that and I go, I kind of understand why that rule's there. This is a nice room. There are a lot of people who don't know how to clean up after themselves. Fortunately, I do. So I went in and I ate food in there. I never left a mess. Nothing happened. No one came in, hey, I see you eating there. You're busted. It was a rule that wasn't enforced and wasn't very meaningful. I understand why it's there, but it doesn't get enforced. So what do? I push boundaries because I'm human. So sorry, everyone, for the New England Patriots being human beings and pushing the boundaries. Now, Brady has claimed he didn't deflate the balls anyway, so I'm making this argument as if he did. I'm just saying, let's say he did, right? Who cares? Been done for ages, not enforced, and then all of a sudden, now they choose to enforce it. Kind of odd, don't you think? Kind of makes you think that maybe the NFL has something kind of against the Patriots. Maybe wants to make them look bad. Uses ESPN as an outlet to make them look bad. So that's a rule that, honestly, again, not meaningful, and to call them cheaters for that is calling yourself a cheater, my opinion. So it's really a joke. And to get 4 games, are you kidding me? Ray Rice literally knocks his girlfriend out in the face. If you've ever seen the video, go watch it. You will be stunned. Just clocks her in the face. What, 2-game suspension? For clocking a woman in the face, a defenseless woman, when you're freaking 250 pounds. Get you 2 games. And we're suspending Tom Brady 4 games for deflating a football. Are you kidding me? If you don't think the NFL has it out for the Patriots and Tom Brady and are trying to, send some sort of message, or you're crazy. 4 games? That's like a $20,000 fine. So to try to use the Deflategate argument as a cheating thing is, you haven't really thought about it very much. You just haven't. You haven't really thought it through. And you're kind of just playing off that narrative because it's easy, because it hides why you really hate the Patriots. So don't come at me with Deflategate crap. Now, I will give you I will give you it. Spygate was legitimate. They got caught videotaping the other team's practices, and they were punished for it. Deservedly so. I will admit that wholehandedly. Yes, they deserve to be punished for that. It's not okay. Now, do I honestly believe other teams were probably doing the same thing? You bet your sweet ass I do. You bet your sweet ass I do. Doesn't make it right. But to single the Patriots out and they're cheaters, guarantee other teams are doing it. Pats just got caught. And that was back, gosh, when was that? That was right before their undefeated season, which was way back. What was that? I'm actually blanking on the year that was. Maybe it was 06. No, it was 07. So it happened at the beginning of 07. Now, we're in 2018. So if you're still holding on to that narrative after the Pats have dominated, continued their dominance, and have won the 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls, it's time to let it go. Okay? One instance of them cheating, them going over the line, they got caught, they got punished, they paid the price. There's no denying that. Have you ever made a mistake? Have you ever done something bad that you got in trouble for? Were people still bringing it up? Let's see here. 11 years later? Labeling you as that? Let's say you cheated on your wife, which is, I mean, it's horrible. You got caught up in a moment, whatever. 11 years later. Oh, well, Johnny, he's still a cheater, blah, blah, blah. Even though 11 years, you're giving the homeless, you're dedicated your life to, I don't know, helping people lose weight. You've like saved people from like a burning fire. Oh, well, but Johnny, he's a cheater. Let it go. Let it go. Everyone makes mistakes. Let it go. Don't try to come at me with that narrative, because they've continued to be dominant ever since. And you don't think the NFL kept a close watch on that from here on out? And you don't think the NFL has a pretty clear eye on them? You bet your sweet ass they do. And the Patriots have continued to dominate, be consistent, dominate, be consistent, dominate, be consistent, dominate. So let it go. They aren't cheaters. Deflategate was a bunch of bull crap. Spygate was real. One mistake. Let it go, people. Let the past sit in the past. Feels good to get that out. Now, a couple other things I want to, again, try and get you to drop the guard. Drop the guard of the hating. Just drop it for a second and just try to understand the Patriots side of things. You hear all the times about other teams' stories being leaked, drama this, drama that. How often do you hear about that from the Patriots? Besides articles with all unconfirmed sources. Never. They're buttoned up. They keep drama in-house. They're always focused on the present. You've heard it a million times in Bill Belichick's interviews. People try to ask him about the past. People try to get him riled up, and he says, "We're focused on the Eagles this week. We're focused on the Eagles this week." They're present-minded. They're looking towards their next goal, and they leave the past in the past. That's what we all try to do as humans. And that's why they're so successful. Present moment and next challenge, they leave the past in the past. You never hear them, do you ever hear the Patriots guaranteeing victories? You ever hear their players, we're going to win the Super Bowl easy. It's going to be a cakewalk. No, you don't hear that. They always praise the other team. They always acknowledge that the team they're playing is a good team, has good players, has good coaches, and they're going to have to work their asses off to beat them. They do that week in and week out, acknowledging that. They're not arrogant like Jalen Ramsey guaranteeing they'll play in the Super Bowl and all the other guys that do that. No. They're respectful. They're professional. And they get it done without all the talking, without all the drama. How can you not admire an organization like that? It's not a lot of organizations like that have ever existed that are basically bereft of any drama other than these storylines that ESPN tries to drum up and tries to stretch and create controversies that the Patriots just use to fuel themselves and get even better. Now, specifically with Tom Brady, there's a lot of hate for Tom Brady. And again, why? I don't understand how you could hate a guy like Tom Brady. Let's take a look at Tom Brady, right? He's passionate. He's passionate about football. He's passionate about nutrition. What's wrong with that? Don't you want to be passionate about something? I'm passionate about podcasting. Passionate about sports. Passionate about fantasy basketball. I'm passionate about working on exercising, helping people get fit, teaching people. Don't we all want to be passionate people about something and find what we love and work at it? He loves what he does. That's what we all dream of, is not having to work a job that we hate, that we can't stand going to work every day. That we should go, I really can't wait to go to work today.
Tim,
oh,
are you home this evening or not?
Another characteristic of Tom Brady. He's highly disciplined. Don't we all wish to be highly disciplined? To be able to say no to that donut? To be able to eat celery? To be able to work out even when we're not feeling it? Yeah. And Tom Brady is. And that's something to be admired, something to be emulated, something to be, emulated. Tom Brady, teach me. How do you stay so disciplined? That's honestly how our mind should be. He's highly competitive. Don't we all want to be highly competitive? Isn't it fun to be competitive, to want to win, to do what it takes to win? I want that. He's got a happy family. He's got a wife who he stayed with, right? He's not one of the celebrities that's sleeping around. He's not Antonio Cromartie with 10 children with 10 different women. He's not blowing his money like Antoine Jameson and going broke. He's got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. He's a man. He takes care of his business. He's got a hot wife. That's great. Don't we all wish to have hot wives? I wish, I'm not necessarily need my wife to be hot, but at least hot for me, you know what I mean? Other people might not, but that's okay. He's famous. Obviously, everyone wants to be famous. Now, fame isn't always as attractive as it may seem. Having people hound you and scrutinize every detail of your life, it's got to suck in a lot of regards. But there are some perks. I'll give him that. He's well compensated for his job. Don't we all want to be well compensated for our jobs? Don't you want a raise? Don't you want to be the best at what you do? Especially if it's something you love. I get if you're working a job where you're selling vacuum cleaners. You may not care so much about being the best vacuum cleaner salesman. But if you find something you love, don't you want to be the best at it? Don't you want to be highly compensated for that? Tom Brady is. And that's nothing to hate him for. Something to admire him and try to learn from him. And it's funny because I kind of did this comparison in my mind of, say, somebody like Brett Favre or somebody like Peyton Manning. We love those guys. Everyone loves Peyton. I never hear anyone say anything bad about Peyton Manning. I'm probably the only one. And I think something that's interesting is Peyton Manning's more relatable to you and I. Oreo commercials. Papa John's. He's the everyman's man. He's your typical run-of-the-mill. He doesn't have these extraordinary good looks. He doesn't have this extraordinary athleticism. He's kind of a bland dude. So he's more relatable. And I think that's why he's more well-liked. You can relate to him. You can be on his level. At least you think you can. But with Brady, Brady's kind of at a different level. He's not relatable to you and I, right? How many of us invent a whole nutrition plan and drink kale smoothies every day and have avocado ice cream and watch 5 hours of film a day to hone his craft? Not many of us. So it's not very. We just can't relate, and so therefore we hate. That's a good one. We can't relate, so therefore we hate. That's going to be my new slogan. So just think about why you like some of the guys you do, and why you don't like some of the guys, and are you hating them for the right reasons? Is the question. So again, the Patriots, they treat their players well. Case in point, Jimmy Garoppolo. They could have traded him to the Browns. They could have dumped him on the Browns and got 2 first-round picks. But you know what, the Patriots? They actually care. They actually care about their players. Jimmy, you've been such a model player for us and have sat behind Brady and have not caused drama, haven't been in the media every day saying, God, I can't wait till I get to start. Like, God, I can't wait sitting here. Model, professional. We're going to reward you for that. We're going to trade you to a team that has a great new coach, that has a great system, because we think you can flourish there. Because we care about you as a player and we respect what you did for us. And we'll only take a second-round pick back. We could have lofted you to the Browns for multiple. Patriots treat their players well. It's the bottom line. Patriots don't tolerate bad apples. Other than Aaron Hernandez, who's getting arrested on the Pats? Who's beating their wives on the Pats? All that the NFL can get the Pats for, deflating footballs. That's about as bad as it gets for them. They're team first. It's all about the team. Guys come in like Chad Ochocinco, Albert Hainsworth, even LeGarrette Blount had a pretty checkered past. They come in, it's about the team. If you can't hack it, you're gone. So again, why do you hate the Patriots? Why do you hate Tom Brady? Ask yourself. Now, maybe this podcast made you hate Brady more. Maybe it made you hate Brady less. Maybe it made you hate the Patriots more. Maybe you hate the Patriots less. I don't know. I don't know how this podcast really came across. Maybe I sound like an arrogant prick telling you what you should and shouldn't do, or how you should and shouldn't think. But all I can do is try to understand both sides and try and give you the facts. The facts are that the Patriots don't have a selfish owner who's a diva. The Patriots don't have a stacked team full of stars. The Patriots don't have a selfish, arrogant star player who can't work with other star players. The Patriots don't have more money than everyone else or a destination to get anyone they want on their team. So to me, the Patriots are the most impressive dynasty we've ever had. By far. The Patriots always have exciting games. Every Super Bowl they've ever played in has come down to the wire, which is exactly what fans want. Cheaters? Not really. They made one mistake 11 years ago. My math is correct. It might be off. 3. Yeah. And we're still holding on to that. We're still mad at them over a rule that the NFL should have never had in place. We can't relate to Tom Brady. So therefore we hate him. So, I hope I've made my case for why you may never love the Patriots like I do. You may never love Tom Brady like I do. Love Bill Belichick like I do. But hopefully, after comparing them to these other players, these other dynasties, after analyzing what the common arguments are for hating them, I hope that you'll understand and that you'll respect them and that you'll maybe try to learn from them, glean from them. Why are they so great? How have they sustained greatness for so long and consistency? How do I get those intangibles into my own life? I sure love would would love to be playing soccer and basketball when I'm 40 years old and playing the best I've ever played. Sure as hell. So anyway, I leave you with that. And I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm excited. As always, I will probably be the only Patriots fan in the room. And I'll have no one to cheer with. Nathan, because you just had to go travel everywhere. That's my brother, by the way, for those of you who don't know. We're both big Patriots fans, and he's traveling the world, so he can't watch it with me. So I could have some support. But hopefully I'll have more. Maybe someone will listen to this podcast, and maybe I'll have more support for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. But anyway, I'm ready for the Pats. I'm hoping it'll be a good game. It usually is with the Pats. Could be a blowout. I don't deny that that could happen. But ultimately, the Patriots win their 6th championship. They're the greatest dynasty of all time. They probably are the greatest dynasty of all time. And I think, honestly, the dynasty that needs to be more admired than any other dynasty, maybe other than the Spurs, because of the way they've done it. Have they made mistakes? Yeah, they have. Who doesn't? Have they pushed the boundaries? Yeah. Who doesn't? But they've done it with class, professionalism, team-first mentality, no drama. Things stay between players that shouldn't be out in the media. They handle their business. That's something that I believe is admirable and emulatable. Throwing a big word at you there. All right. I think I've said all I can say. Go Pats, and I will see you on the next Topics for Tim. Have a good one.